Hello, welcome to another edition of XFeed. My name is Steven Schill, the Schiller, whatever you want to call me. Yo, the man, call the man. Hell yeah. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're still going over the XFeed, but I want to talk more and, well, it's going to be a lot different than a typical show. But I want to go over this ASM paper. I feel like it is the talk of the town right now, at least in the Futureverse corners. There's some of you that might not be familiar with this, and this could be a cool kind of evergreen piece. So with that being said, what the intention is I'm going to go over some different updates from the Root Network ecosystem of what's been happening, just from some side projects, looking at the marketplace for Gen 2 brains because things went crazy, and fully reading the ASM White Paper that went out. But first, I saw the Kona Road, shout out to Kona Road, in the Futureverse Discord a little bit earlier, posted kind of a summary of this. So if you're just tuning in, wanting a very quick summary of what the paper is, I'm going to read these notes, and then we are going to go through all of the tweets. So the ASM AI protocol has evolved to address challenges in adoption and scalability. The new protocol stack consists of three core components: the Non-Fungible Intelligence Protocol, the ASM Launchpad Protocol, and the ASM Void Protocol 2.0. The Non-Fungible Intelligence Protocol allows for on-demand creation of BRAINS, or brains, intelligent NFTs by paying a fee in the Asto token. This enables developers to scale their needs more easily. The ASM Launchpad Protocol introduces tokenized licensing for ASM's patented technologies, allowing projects across various chains to legally use ASM innovations. And that part right there has caused a lot of questions to be asked. There is an X Spaces tomorrow with Aaron and Shara where they're going to be going over a lot of these things, but we'll see what we can figure out together here. The ASM Void Protocol 2.0 reimagines Asto staking and Asto energy mechanics. So what's the impact on Asto token holders? Asto holders can continue staking their tokens to accrue Asto energy. Asto energy can be used to claim rewards generated through the ASM Launchpad's tokenized license mechanics and fees from the Non-Fungible Intelligence Protocol. At the end of each Void cycle, users can swap their Asto energy for ASM Void tokens or backing project NFTs. The graphic for this is kind of self-explanatory for like what this is, but it hurts my brain looking at, and I still don't totally understand it, but we'll look at it here in a moment. ASM Void tokens will be tradable on the Root Network DEX and can be unwound to redeem equivalent value in Asto. So, okay, this is kind of like the Vortex tokens where ASM Void ones you can unwind, per se. The equivalent value in Asto or project tokens within the ASM Void pool. Impact on ASM Genesis Brain holders. Genesis Brains remain a foundational piece of the ASM AI protocol and can still be used in games like The Next Legends, Grumble, and Racers. Genesis Brains are required as part of the new ASM Launchpad protocol for anyone seeking licenses to ASM patented technologies. Genesis Brains will play a new role in the upcoming release related to the Root Network's evolving architecture, replacing the PADI protocol for ASM infrastructure. Additionally, Gen 2 brain holders will have the opportunity to transform their assets into intelligent surrealscapes in an upcoming season of the Third Kingdom, potentially earning Asto rewards through a mechanism involving prisms and AFA All-Stars. So I really like this because we get a little bit of an update on what exactly is going on with the All-Stars. Some people have had questions of, hey, there's certain parts of the ecosystem that felt like they've gone a little bit quiet, where yesterday for the bosses, there was the stadiums that went out that people thought was really, really cool. And I was kind of curious of, when we got the Burrow drop I should say the Third Kingdom land drop for Burrows, we saw kind of a huge fall off or sell off for those lands because people thought, okay, like that's the only utility for it. And so now we have questions about, okay, if you have the boss AFA All-Star, what's going to be the perks with this? Okay, well now I guess they're going to be used within the TTK. But what are those mechanics? So we're getting a little bit of behind the scenes for all these different things. Now, in terms of the market reaction to this, because a lot of people have a ton of prisms, the Third Kingdom land, the upcoming strategy simulation game, which we'll see if it takes over Web3. You could buy these for like $10 earlier, and we saw a huge uptick. The entire month, we saw like maybe one sale a day, if that, and then all of a sudden today, almost an ETH worth 0.6 essentially of ASM Gen 2 brains. And again, at $10, that's This is a lot of brains that went today, so cool to see kind of some market reaction to it. Atari, hello. Welcome aboard, good sir. Now, quickly talking about different happenings within the Root Network ecosystem, just as a lot of things are happening. We got Mark here from the Tradeverse talking about how they've added support for Asto and Sylo for gas tokens, updates on the profile layout, top collection filters on mobile, fixed video playback. Mark is just throwing stuff out on the daily. Mark is the man. Ton of stuff happening within Tradeverse, and cool to see how quickly they are iterating and in a public fashion. Arcadia, they recently sold out their Genesis passes. Excited to see what the arcade is in the future. And again, they have a lot of different partner things coming up. So excited to see on the side of Emergence. I've tuned into a couple of the spaces. Don't totally know what's going on with Emergence, but you know, I feel like we're all kind of like connected and realize, okay, this is connected to that. This is connected to over here. Okay, these guys are partnered. There's an experience that's being built over there. How does this relate over to here? And there is so much going on in Trader Pops. A little bit of Sylo. Very excited to see all the updates for Sylo. Saw Aaron talking about stuff as well the other day. Another big update for Sylo and Asto coming to Tradeverse within next few days. Coming from Shen. Oh, let's go, dude. That's exciting. Thank you, sir. Blocks, educate us and take us to Valhalla, please. Yes, sir. So for anybody that's just joined, if you go over to YouTube, if you're wanting the quick summary, again, Kona Road gave a quick one in the Discord that we went over a moment ago. We're going to be going over like the paper as a whole, trying to go over things slowly. So if you want to be super vocal with things, feel free to let it loose in the chat. Now, the only thing that I think off the top of my mind that's coming up at some point here in the future is Tattoo World, which you can throw tattoos in your NFTs, and I think that's kind of cool. So excited to see when they have a launch or something going on with Root, but wanting to give them a quick shout out. Now, jumping along here, do some other stuff. We got Armando. Armando, how you doing, brother? And JJ Hops talking about how they want to get more ascended. So the Gen 2 brains, we now know that they're going to be intelligence on Surrealscapes or intelligent Surrealscapes. Whatever the hell that means. I didn't know land could be intelligent, but again, it's 2024. You never know. And my first intuition, without fully grasping everything, was, oh my God, I need to go and grab the rare Gen 2 brains. Again, the Eye of Ruin, these things were like, I think like $15 or something. And again, the whole Web3 space, when things are like inexpensive, it just sounds so much more fun. To be honest, before we're buying stuff for like $300, $400, you can buy one of these things. Again, it doesn't really do anything right now, besides a little bit of future score, but cool to see. But my problem is, okay, with the wording that they had, does this Eye of Ruin actually mean anything, or any of the regions, do they mean anything? Because this is specifically what was said within that ASM paper. In an upcoming season of the Third Kingdom, users will have the opportunity to transform their Gen 2 brains into intelligent surrealscapes, taking the form of the Alarian Moon, the corner of the metaverse where Gen 2 brains were unearthed. So keyword in this is opportunity to transform. This almost feels like I'm going to need somebody's help on this one. It's a PlayStation game where you were able to play it. It was a simulation. You had two options. It was super viral at a point. It was like Detroit Human, something like that. I don't know. Yo, Warrior Mama, thank you for keeping us updated on all things Futureverse. Thank you for coming on through and hanging out. We give Schiller a secret word and he has to use it in a stream without laughing or anyone realizing. Listen, that's jugger. Okay, so back to the point here, though, is the opportunity. What does that mean? Are we going to be kind of like, hey, here's an opportunity, nudge, nudge, take it, you idiot? Or is it, hey, you could do this, or you could just keep that Gen 2 brain? There is something with the Eye of Ruin or these other different aspects. Yo, Detroit become human. Shen coming through with the alpha twice in a row. Man's a legend. I can't read the word. Listen, it's blocked. I have no idea what it says. Deployed onto Alaria Surrealscapes will harness the power of Asto, drawing Asto rewards from the mysterious mycelium network of the Third Kingdom. So let's read that again. It's prisms. I'm a fish. Prisms deployed onto Alarian Surrealscapes, otherwise the Gen 2 brains that get changed over, will harness the power of Asto, drawing Asto rewards from the mysterious mycelium network of the Third Kingdom. AFA All-Stars will also play a role in enhancing these rewards. So I guess the idea is we only had the assumption that Third Kingdom land would get you root rewards, and now specifically with the Gen 2s, they are going to give you Asto. Now, if you remember, you did have to spend Asto energy to get these Gen 2 brains, and so I guess the thought process with this is, I guess you get back some of the Asto, but the problem is that you stake Asto to get Asto energy, and you're only spending Asto energy, so you didn't actually lose any Asto. So the aspect is basically we're all absolute fish for not minting more Gen 2s when they were available. But at the same time, obviously these were on ETH, the gas fees were atrocious, and then further to that, I guess the question would become... I lost my train of thought. Let me look in the chat. You guys are flying today. Holy smokes. Blocks, Atari, Sen. Appreciate you guys coming on through here. Will there be more Gen 2s? That is the question. It doesn't sound like it from what my early understanding is with it. But sorry, the point back to the rewards is that now the land has Astro rewards as well. And so the point being is we have thingies right now where a lot of us probably aren't actually spending any of the moon rocks to be able to create thingy art. But when goblins came around and you were like, oh my goodness, I can burn a thingy art to get a goblin. It's $20 values. Did I spend $20 in ETH to mint one of these? It's going to make a whole lot more sense when all this stuff is en route. But the point being is, maybe the game all along is to continually have done or interacted with what these assets are giving you. Being able to spend the Asto energy, the Asto, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see what that is. Will Gen 1 brains also earn Asto? Well, the way that I read the first ASM white paper is how they referenced brains. It felt like kind of like an entire network where potentially if you had one, you got rewarded from network activity. Aaron does talk a little bit more about things to come. So let's jump over to his tweets right quick. So within this, he said, a lot of hard work by Nova Spectre, shout out Nova, and the team to understand what was needed to evolve ASM based on our learnings and the changes in the AI landscape over the last year. ASM is now more comprehensive, more usable, more scalable, and has clear value models. So some people had some concerns about how the Void protocol went, which if you weren't around for that, basically there was like an event that they had like this story kind of built and they posted online of, hey, if you go and mine by spending your Asto energy, you got like a little bit of this Asto USDC pool. And then people were like fudding it of, oh my God, what if we're not awake for this? And it didn't really scale very well. But then obviously this is talking about more of the other ideas. And then Crypto Cookie saying, even for Gen 1 holders, just like Warren Mama. And he said, have a read on the paper. On top of their existing functionality, Gen 1 brains also gained an important role in the protocol itself. More to come. And then there was another question here just about it where shout out Tradeverse, a little bit of a nod. Yeah, rather. And add name here says, would it be possible to make it where we can rent out our brains to developers so they don't have to necessarily buy an OG brain? First thing that popped into my mind when the paper mentioned needing a brain to get more brains. Developers can build on the root network without a Gen 1 brain if they use the non-fungible intelligent palette. If they want to use our innovations on another network, well, then they need to own a Gen 1 brain as the key for the Launchpad. Renting wouldn't work. And so they re-clarified that there's going to be 10,000, or there's only going to be 10,000 of these Gen 1 brains. So I guess the concept is, hey, if there's a lot of people that are wanting to use what Futureverse has built and use it on other networks, they're going to need a Gen 1 brain. So that is the question. That is the question. By the way, if you guys actually want me to read anything in chat, I know that you guys are kind of chatting, and I'm kind of focused on this, but if you want to like at me, if you're on like the certain platform, I don't know if X does it. I know on Twitch and I think YouTube it does, but if there's anything specifically you wanted me to go over, let me know. And then tomorrow after the spaces, as where the heck is the space? There it is. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. PT, 9 a.m. New Zealand time. Holy smokers. I think that's 5 p.m. Eastern time. Aaron and Char again are jumping on a spaces, and then it looks like Bill and Gex are going to have their X spaces following that. So if you guys are wanting to participate, whether that be listening and usually can jump on stage, this is not loading. Gex, what's going on? I can't get this to load, but yeah, check out Bildo Gex profile, and there you go. The official breakdown here from ASM. What one are these? Are the exact same, aren't they? Hell yeah, these are the same. So evolving ASM, non-fungible intelligence, our latest paper on the ASM protocol builds on our vision paper and introduces a new direction with 3 new core components for developers building at the intersection of Web3 and AI. Guys, are we back? Are we back and in the AI narrative? Because it felt like we weren't really in the AI narrative for a while, right? You know what I mean? What kind of the sleepers being like, guys, pay attention. Things are going on with Futureverse. Trust. Well, now we get to see what that looks like. Fluff boy, how bullish is this? Wag me. Okay, so we're going to read the full ASM white paper in a second, so stay tuned to story time with Steve. But with 3 games in market and using brains in different ways, we've learned a lot about how the ASM AI protocol can interact with games and agents. We're taking these learnings to adapt the ASM AI protocol and unlock the full potential of Web3 and AI coming together. So if you were here at like the very start of the stream, one of the things that I said was we had the notion, and when I interviewed Aaron and Shara on my stream not forever ago, but like 2 months ago, I specifically, or was it on that? Yes, it was. And I asked like, okay, so we kind of have the notion as a community that these feel like they're all proof of concepts. And we're essentially trying to tell our friends and family about these gaming experiences. But we're like, certain things feel like it's very early stages. Is it as fleshed out? Like, and then Shara gave like a comment about how like everything's proof of concept. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But going and looking at this, I'm like, oh, okay. So now we're able to kind of really showcase for everybody that doesn't what the team's been able to make. And now those companies and brands coming in can make their own iteration on that. And have you met my man, Rodney Mullins? Our first new core component is the ASM non-fungible intelligence protocol built on the root network. This new protocol is designed for scalability and allows anything in the open metaverse to be made intelligent, even metaverse land. The heart of the ASM non-fungible intelligence protocol is a substrate palette that enables any user or creator to mint new non-fungible intelligence, aka brains, into any existing upgraded NFT or create new NFTs/SFTs cross-chain with intelligence built in. Keyword here, cross-chain. The future. The ASM Launchpad protocol is the second core component. This offers a revolutionary approach to managing the licensing of ASM technologies. With tokenized licensing, developers gain the protection of ASM patents and the ability to leverage ASM innovations on any chain. So the question with this is they're saying the protection of ASM patents. How is the patent war? I don't know what that looks like out there. Maybe this is a huge deal where people are very afraid of infringing on other patents, dealing with legal works, et cetera, et cetera. If Futureverse kind of takes all that away, I don't know. It sounds pretty good. But again, I'm kind of a fish in that realm. So let me know if what you got. This method of tokenized licenses is patent pending and could be used to manage other Futureverse and ASM patent technology. The ASM Void Protocol 2.0 is the third core component and is a system developed for Asto token holders to benefit from the value generated by the above 2 protocol services. So I'm going to do an absolute piss poor job of going over this, but we're going to do it nonetheless. It's literally 2 a.m. here and I cannot sleep. Non-fungible intelligent palette got me bricked up. Yo, listen, to be honest, Shen, I responded to somebody once saying I'm bricked up. I had no idea what it meant. And then somebody like DM'd me saying, yeah, you should probably delete that. And I was like, good call. Good call. So there's 2 things here where there's the ASM Void, where it shows that you can stake Asto, and then it goes in this ASM Void, and you can also earn Asto energy from this ASM board. ASM Void, and there's a non-fungible intelligent palette that has Asto that also goes into the Void, and then there's all these project vaults, which, again, I'm not like 100% certain on it, but then when the epoch ends, it goes into these Void rewards, and there's Void NFTs and Void tokens, which sound like, all these things are connected to different projects. I'm going to have to see it kind of work in person, maybe sit down if there's anybody that wants to make a thread on it. I think people would absolutely love it, but it looks super high-tech, but what the hell does it mean, brother? The Void Protocol 2.0 leverages the root network's innovative staking mechanism. Asto token holders staking on the ASM Void Protocol 2.0 are rewarded with Asto energy. At the end of each cycle, Asto energy can be exchanged for ASM Void tokens and or the NF or form NFTs vested in the protocol. Guys, are NFTs back? I thought we only want tokens. Yeah, listen, if NFTs are back, hell yeah. Hell yeah. ASM Void tokens will be tradable on the root network DEX, assuming there is liquidity pool with a pair of your choice, or can be unwound by users to redeem an equivalent value of any of the unlocked Asto token or project tokens within the ASM Void pool. What do you guys think of the rebranding, by the way? I can't tell if this is like some kind of like a superhero thing. I saw somebody bring up that it looked like Atari. I don't know. Do you like the old style where it was like more kind of like purple, and it feels like this one's like not as like happy as the other one. This one's like a little bit more serious. I don't know if this is, you know, with the entire rebrand or what. AI pride flag. Okay. Existing brains remain a foundational piece of the ASM AI protocol. Their genomes can continue to be used in existing games like racers. Developers can still integrate these ASM brain collections in their experiences and continue to utilize their tech. In an upcoming season of the Third Kingdom, Gen 2 brain holders will have the opportunity to transform their brains into intelligent surrealscapes. And when they say in an upcoming season of the Third Kingdom, am I a fish for getting Gen 2s and this is actually like season 2 that this is integrated, or is it season 1? I have no idea. But the prophecy back in 2022, Aaron tweeted, "What if I told you Gen 2 brains are intelligent metaverse minds?" Yo, Bill Green, what's going on, brother? Is that the price chart pump? Yo, apparently this entire week the Futureverse token ecosystem is moving just a wee little bit. ASM is committed to pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI plus Web3 and fostering a mutual ecosystem for builders and users. Join us tomorrow. So I mean, I'm just listen, out of simple curiosity, are you guys excited about this? Do you feel, this is kind of cool? Do you think, this sucks? I'm going to try to put that thing up on the screen so you guys can actually see your chat that goes on. Blocks, you should come take the gloves off and then, listen, it's alright. We trying to have some fights in the chat. That's crazy. Also, is your stream, didn't you do it Spaces last night, or am I crazy? Is that Max's? You got yours tonight, sir? Lots to come. Hell yeah. Okay, so I don't really know. I was just like, we need to go live. So I have no idea what in the hell I want to do. Do we go through like the entire thing or just like a little bit? So I guess we'll skip like kind of the bulk beginning of this, but it says, while we achieve some of the technical goals of the protocol vision in establishing the groundwork for interoperable agents in the metaverse, we did not achieve the scale or adoption we need to make that meaningful. This came down to a number of factors, including, and these are like the issues, right? The creation of a new collection of brains required distinctly different genomes. Supporting both Genesis and Gen 2 brains simultaneously in applications led to inconsistencies in users and developer experience and unnecessary limitations in game design. This is a great point. Kind of interesting that there was like two collections with it. And as we highlighted normally on the traditional X feed the other day, when we went over how there was the main collection and then the secondary collection, and almost all of them had like a 9 to 12x price difference between them. Did the second collection really have any merit or meaning for it, other than the idea of, hey, this is potentially a little bit of an easier way for people to get in that isn't as costly? Number 2, these brains did not easily work across multi-chain environments. The requirement for brains to exist separately from their agent forms or avatars created additional UX complexity for both developers and users, especially onboarding new users. So this basically implies to me, and I believe this is what's said throughout, is that when you're minting a new brain, it's like just within a character, from my understanding, where it's not like, hey, here's just like an intelligence and you get to put it into each body. Now, I got to triple check on that. I'm here for that Asto energy. Hell yeah. On-demand scaling of brains was difficult and complex for developers who could not predict how many brains they needed and when they needed them, with genome mining presenting an unnecessarily lengthy process for the acquisition of new brains for these projects. So, I mean, I think the aspect of it being on ETH, there was, if you listen to the early ASM YouTube videos, there's some like wild ones from like the first and second week of like the project coming out, and a little bit later talking about like the need for millions upon millions of brains. And so I think some of the partnerships that they've had have been worked on for like quite a while, but obviously they kind of had to be like, well, we got to wait because there's a lot of issues and things that were kind of popping up from that. Yep, value for Asto and Asto Energy seems clear. Gen 2, good bonus with being land for TTK to mine Asto. Gen 1, unknown, don't understand it. Yeah, and so I noticed within like the Futureverse Discord, a lot of people were saying, listen to the spaces tomorrow. That'll be cleared up. Yada, yada, yada. Sylo or Asto? Sir, are you crazy? We're always Sylo maxis. True. The economy of NFTs has changed significantly, necessitating a revision of how the protocol delivers value to Asto holders. And again, this is cool that there was like that awareness level. Obviously, for people in the community, including myself, we're like, okay, what in the halibut is going on? We ordered a basket of fish and it's friggin' burnt and hasn't arrived yet. Well, okay, well, maybe we assumed that it was burnt. Maybe it's totally fine, but it hasn't arrived yet. And now we're kind of understanding why. You know what I mean? Number 6, the Murmur Matrix has been designed to derive unique characteristics from a Genesis genome matrix, which are incompatible with Gen 2 matrix maps. Okay, so as a result of these learnings, we have designed a new protocol stack and economic model for ASM, adapting the ASM AI protocol to address these challenges. The new protocol stack and economic model consists of 3 core components: the ASM Non-Fungible Intelligence Protocol, an ASM palette on the root network. By paying an Asto fee into this protocol, anyone can mint NFTs and now also SFTs backed in brains, enabling on-demand creation of brains that scale with the developer needs and provide a level playing field for interoperability. Number 2, the ASM Launchpad protocol, which again, this sounds, you know, the Binance Launchpad. I mean, just throw in any rather big name in there. Launchpad sounds important, which enables developers on any chain to leverage the growing patent portfolio and IP of the ASM protocol. Number 3, the ASM Void Protocol 2.0, a system developed for Asto holders to benefit from the value generated by the above 2 protocol components. Okay, this goes on like a little bit here. Do we just like literally read everything, or what do okay, so developers using the ASM AI protocol can now create brains on demand, embed them into any asset as their games and applications scale, simplifying development, implementation, and economics. Again, Futureverse being the toolkit, the application layer, helping others create stuff. I think obviously we've had a huge issue of like the branding around Futureverse, looking at just the games and being like, oh, these games are Futureverse, and people play them and they're like, okay, like this doesn't seem amazing, but it's like, oh, no, hold on there, fishy. It's the stuff behind making all of this tick, and there's going to be people building. Yeah, you know, you get the idea. Leverage the new Murmur Matrix feature set, enhance AI capabilities with spatial awareness and long-term contextual memory. Benefit from implicit licensing. Access patented ASM technologies and continuations by building with the Non-Fungible Intelligence Protocol. Listen, I'm not great. You know, when you get older, you're like, yeah, I want the graphics. And now I'm just like, nah, just give me the text and I'll try to figure it out. Semi-fungible tokens is SFT. Mo Meta coming in huge. Shout out to Mr. Mo Meta. If you guys missed the auto spaces yesterday, be sure to go check that out. Also yesterday, Down the Rabbit Hole happened. Aaron did join that. I did upload a clip of that on my X page earlier. Well, I guess last night, talking a little bit about Sylo on that. Okay, so the tokenized licensing. Okay, now we're cooking. Good looking. The ASM Launchpad Protocol, tokenized licensing. ASM has distinguished itself as an early pioneer in the intersection of Web3 and AI, inventing many pivotal ideas that have been implemented in a wide range of projects. Many of these foundational ideas are protected under U.S. patent, and now also in continuation, which further extends the use cases for the ASM protocol claims covered, providing essential IP protection for anyone building in this space, which again, huge. As the market is involved and scaled, we have identified numerous projects across various chains that likely infringe on these patents. Y'all, we're bringing out the hammer. In The Simpsons, there's that old guy with the paddle. That's the meme right there. Along with a growing list of continuation claims, we are committed to creating a fair pathway for these projects to obtain licenses for ASM technologies. Oh, smacker. Okay, so, I mean, does this mean that they're like, okay, you guys can use these stuff because we have the patents for it, but now you got to go out and sweep Gen 1 brains? Unless I'm reading this differently. Cough parallel. Well, I mean, is it parallel or is it Wayfinder? I remember there was a conversation around that a while ago, one of the 30-minute maxes. But, of course, we'll wait and see how that shakes out. Where in the heck was I? fostering mutual ecosystems. We are committed to creating a fair pathway for these projects, intersection of Web3 and AI technology. To this end, we propose a new Launchpad framework for tokenized licenses to enable open innovation and research in this domain, delivering protocol value to the ASM community members. This approach aims to reward those who have supported the ASM ecosystem and to enable new projects to find new users, growing alongside this ecosystem while benefiting from the patented innovation. This new tokenized patent licensing protocol can be extended to cover other innovations or patents granted to Futureverse and can be used by other projects wishing to tokenize their own patents. The licensing protocol itself is also patent pending. So how does this work? The project vault creation. Each participating project will create a project vault through the root network's upcoming vault palette, configured for minimum project token stake or NFT allocation. With vesting and cliffs as needed, each project will also require an ASM Genesis brain, tagging their NFT collection metadata or agents with the respective Genesis brain ID as a core license validator. Okay, so am I crazy? Or does this kind of sound exactly what like Yuga has with the made by apes? You know what I mean? Where people have an ape, and if they're able to like submit their business thing, they're able to get like a business license, and then they're able to like kind of highlight it more. This kind of feels that way, but this is, you know, on potentially a little bit bigger scale, as it does involve AI and the wonderful world of Web3. Not that the Made by Apes doesn't by any means. I'm just saying a lot of those things are more for like in-person physical products. So number 2, token vesting. Tokens within the project vault are vested into the ASM Void pool. Upon unlocking at the end of each protocol epoch, a void cycle, they are rolled up into an ASM Void token. These tokens are backed by the deposits of each project building with the ASM AI protocol, including the Asto tokens paid into the Non-Fungible Intelligence protocol. Reward pool. This creates a pool of rewards that can be claimed by participants in the ASM AI protocol, providing a way for projects to reach new users participating in the ASM Void Protocol 2.0. So the benefits for developers: patent protection, benefit from the protection of ASM patents even if you don't use brains; cross-chain innovations, leverage ASM innovations on other chains; and user acquisition, reach new users with onboarding incentives for their game or experience through the ASM Void Protocol 2.0. So the questions then become about marketing and all this other stuff. It's, you know, this, I mean, onboarding incentives, having these other games. Hey, you need to kind of have like a patent to do what you're doing. Come through us. We'll help, you know, make it worth your while. I mean, because it's going to be viewed at as different ways, right? Because you could say, oh my God, like we're infringing on these things and these guys are dicks and they're trying to, you know, take us down. Or, hey, you know, we can be a part of this, potentially get incentives off of it, grow our community if we have something that's cooking and we don't have other aspects to it. I mean, again, that's not for everybody that's out there, but it will be interesting to see. Schiller, your voice is velvety. Yo, red velvet? Hell yeah, brother. Benefits for community members: earn bounties. Community members can earn bounties for referring projects that might benefit from the patent coverage and earn rewards. Community members can earn rewards from the ASM Void Protocol. Nice. So the ASM Void Protocol 2.0. The key features: Asto staking and Asto energy generation. The Void Protocol leverages the root network's innovative staking mechanism, the Vortex. Asto holders staking against the ASM Protocol 2.0 earn Asto energy. User Asto energy generation is increased with multipliers as a function of time staked in the ASM Protocol. Wait a minute. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So this sounds like the way that we have Future Score right now. And for anybody that doesn't know, basically, if you buy a Futureverse NFT, over time, that slowly ticks up. Let's say you buy like a Buzzy. They are like a little bee-looking NFT, and they give you like 5 Future Score points. And whenever you complete a Futureverse quest, you then have like a multiplier that goes out to like the community and people that completed these quests, and it would be times by your Future Score. And over time, that goes up. So technically, you're always kind of earning a little bit more, which is neat. But this sounds like, hey, the exact same time lock for people that are staking Asto. And I don't know if this goes back, right? Like if you've been staking Asto this entire time, does that add to it? If I then go and add more Asto to what I've started, because I don't have a whole lot of Asto staked right now, right? Does it change? Or do you always accumulate that even if you had one Asto within there? It's very interesting. Very interesting. Reward claiming. At the end of each void cycle, users can swap their Asto energy for a rolled up ASM void token and or backing up project NFTs vested into the protocol. Tradability and redemption. Void tokens will be tradable on the root network DEX, assuming there is liquidity pool at the pair of your choice, or it can be unwound by users to redeem an equivalent value of any of the unlocked Asto or project tokens within the ASM void pool. And I'd be curious if any of you guys want to jump over to the Cortex and see if the interface is different on that or what it looks like. So the benefits of this ASM Void protocol: license coverage. This mechanism generates and consumes the required Asto energy to cover licenses for projects in Void cycle through user Asto staking. The mechanism generates and consumes the required Asto energy to cover licenses for projects. Okay, I have no idea what in the hell that means. Yo, Atari, enjoy the streets, good sir. Enjoy it. I better see you tomorrow, and you walk up and be like, wow, Atari, you look horrible. And you say, yeah, you should see the other guy. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. Enjoy. So I have no idea what exactly it means by like spending Asto energy to cover licenses. Need to reread or kind of understand that a little bit more. Ecosystem growth. It allows users staking against the protocol the opportunity to acquire these backing project tokens and NFTs, fostering ecosystem growth and cross-pollination. I think like the vibe of this, and I'm getting super early, is like they're wanting people to continue to stake. So again, less tokens on the network, and you get the idea. Or sorry, a lot less tokens on the network, but less tokens being traded. Cough, cough. Community value. Provides value to the ASM community by rewarding active participants and supporting new projects. By integrating these elements, ASM Void Protocol 2.0 ensures a robust and rewarding environment for all participants, driving the growth and sustainability of the ASM ecosystem. Listen, ASM ecosystem, sustainability, that's what we like to hear. Okay, so for the existing brains remain a foundational piece of the ASM AI protocol. You're able to still use them in all the games, and developers can can continue to integrate these ASM brain collections into their experience and utilize Genesis and Gen 2 genome matrices. So I know there's been a lot of questions about the waiting for those brains. I don't know if that means that these are kind of scrapped, if this still happens. We're going to have to wait until some of these experiences are out a little bit more, to be honest, I think. But for the Gen 1 brains, ASM Genesis brains serve a broader purpose in this evolved vision. They are required as part of the new ASM Launchpad protocol for anyone seeking licenses to ASM's patented technologies. Additionally, Genesis brains will play an exciting new role in an upcoming release related to the root network's evolving architecture, which will replace the PADI protocol for ASM infrastructure. So when they're saying it's going to play a new role in an upcoming release, but it's replacing the PADI protocol, my problem with understanding this, and maybe you guys can help me, is PADI, I thought, was simply just a look behind the curtains where it had the ability to show you of it kind of playing the Pong game, and that was it. So when they're talking about like the PADI protocol and the Genesis brains playing a bigger role in that, I don't know what that means, to be honest. For Gen 2 brains, in an upcoming season of the Third Kingdom, users will have the opportunity to transform their Gen 2 brains into intelligent surrealscapes, taking the form of the Illyria Moon, the corner of the metaverse where Gen 2 brains were unearthed. Prisms deployed onto Illyria surrealscapes will harness the power of Asto, drawing Asto rewards from the mysterious mycelium network of the Third Kingdom. AFA All-Stars will also play a role in enhancing these rewards. More details will be revealed through the Third Kingdom's channels at a later stage of development. So again, just to kind of reiterate, it looks like a lot of the NFT collections, you have the future score aspect, and then now they're going to have various utilities, whether it be turning them into land itself or the characters being able to generate some sort of yield within these experiences. Feels like it's a very common trend. Conclusion: as pioneers in the ever-evolving world of AI and Web3, ASM and Futureverse are committed to pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We believe in continuously innovating and enhancing our technology to create new and exciting opportunities for our builders and users. In our 3 new core components, we have built upon the learning since the inception of the ASM protocol to deliver foundational principles of ASM, ownership, interoperability, and composability in a way that scale for a wider range of developers and use cases. We look forward to growing the ASM ecosystem and expanding the vision of truly open gaming. Oh, ASM seems to have a lot of lawyers, lots of info here. I think it's wild because for anybody that isn't aware, and I don't know like all the finite details, but there was a huge lawsuit between Yuga and somebody who took the Bored Apes, flipped them, and sold them for like a fair amount of profit. And Yuga ended up winning that, but there's been a lot of random legal cases where over in the Gala Games ecosystem, some of the founders were suing each other over stuff. And I don't know if there's been much like project on project type crime, but I think lawyers, especially within the Web3 space, are very hard to come by that aren't exceptionally expensive. So that's a great point to bring up. And if this helps teams not have to deal with potentially some legal issues, I think Futureverse has got something on here. What pool of Asto is up for grabs? Could be big, but need to buy prisms as well. Well, that's the question, because I think a lot of the tokens, how many extra things like the land rewards that are going to be a part of this, what's all kind of the extra more finite details. But it is kind of crazy. Again, when you look at Futureverse for their research, talking about the ASM patents, overall, the Gen music, it's covering a whole swath of angles, the donut patent, the Futureverse white paper as a whole, really going around and kind of doing everything under the sun with it, which is kind of cool. The ASM site is still the same. That's weird. So what do you guys think then? If the ASM site is still the same on the old branding, we're seeing with Altered State Machine right now, all of this kind of new branding, which I think this feels more of like a retro vibe, where the ASM token that we were looking at a moment ago, it didn't, I don't know, like just like the stripes, I feel like it didn't really add like the pizzazz, but I think like this style is actually really, really neat. TTK is the key to distribute rewards through the NFTs. And so that's a great point. And the questions, I guess, is now when you look at the Web3 space and people, there was a video thread, and tomorrow we're going to go back to like do like the normal X feed unless Futureverse drops another paper or something, but it was for Forgotten Runes, and they had a post in there when they were just explaining what they offered, and there was a component in there talking about how they're having like an upcoming metaverse like land sale, and I saw a comment from somebody, because that was the only reason that I ended up seeing that on the timeline, and they responded saying, metaverse land, all right, I'm out. So we have to remember that there is a huge disconnect between the understanding of potential value, the potential fun from these different experiences, where again, for those Gen 2 brains that are going to have the opportunity to turn into these surrealscapes, it was like $10, $15. You know what I mean? Like I could have some friends right now be like, hey guys, you want one of these? No big problem. And I mean, the problem, I guess, would become, okay, do they have to buy prisms? Is there a way to actually play this game beyond owning that thing? Is this something where it's, okay, you've gotten the land, now you got to go out and you got to buy like 5 other things, or it's just so damn slow, and maybe that's fine, and it's kind of like the free to play type game, and there's so many different opportunities. Take another look at the ASM site. Yo, is Bildo lying to me? I'll yeah, let me jump over. What screen do I put this on? We'll put it on the starting soon. I don't have my typical thing set up here. So Altered State Machine. I think I have like the Cortex saved on here. So, oh, hey, yo, Bildo. Yeah. Bildo, we got to have a little bit of a conversation, brother. It looks different. So intelligence and everything. Make anything in the open metaverse intelligent with non-fungible intelligence. The patented ASM protocol links on-chain data to AI agents, enabling developers to build interoperable AI-powered experiences and assets that users can own. Harness the power of our AI protocol for your games, apps, and business solutions. Apply for a license today to elevate your projects to the next level. Contact us to learn more. So I meant to mention this, and then I read the chat and I got totally distracted. At the end of that ASM paper, did you notice what they ended things with? They said, we look forward to growing the ASM ecosystem and expanding on the vision of truly open gaming. So is this kind of the start that we're going to see Root being pitched more as a gaming chain? Because I'm seeing on my timeline every single day, everybody talking about Ronin. I don't see anybody talking about Immutable X. No, absolutely no disrespect. Almost nobody's talking about that, but I know a whole bunch is going on, right? And so we're having these notions of, okay, what's going to be the gaming chain? What's going to be the DeFi chain? The conversation around Blast and the degen aspect. And then all of a sudden we have Pixel Vault saying, hey, we're bringing Reboot that's going to be like the degen aspect aspect to ape chain. You're like, okay, what's going to be the narratives around these things? Is it going to be one chain fits all? Is it going to be ones that are purpose built for one thing or another? That's going to be the question for it. The core text looks the same. Okay, cool. We read most of that stuff. The ASM Launchpad protocol offers a revolutionary approach to decentralizing the licensing of ASM technologies. With tokenized licenses, developers gain the benefits of ASM patents and the ability to leverage ASM innovations across any chain, as well as tap into a growing community of AI enthusiasts and developers. Dude, it's so weird. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's super strange. When I first came into the space, I had a guy that was like into DeFi. And this was as I was kind of trying to expand beyond NBA Top Shot. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And this guy was like smoking on stream. He was talking about like the early days being in Bitcoin, you know, on like these crazy markets and everything. And I was like, this dude is wild. But he had all this research, and it was fascinating to learn about the eccentrics aside. And I'm like, damn, you know, a couple of years later, we're starting to find out our own thing, have a little bit of faith in something, and damn, things are looking spicy. Very cool to see the updates. And at the same time, when we talk about, okay, well, are updates slow across the ecosystems in a general sense? I think that if you look at a lot of the things that were around the 2021 NFT launchpads, I suppose, a lot of them are kind of like all on the same footing. A couple of them are a little bit further ahead in terms of like broader awareness, in some ways good, in some ways bad. But collectively, I feel like everybody's starting to ramp up, announce their big happenings and what's about to come. And now we just kind of get to sit back and see if we are actually witnessing history and potentially finding things a little bit early. But that's it for this edition of XFeed. Thank you guys so much for coming on through. Typically, the show is just me kind of talking about the Web3 market as a whole. I do want to kind of switch things more to focus on Root, but obviously we're seeing more of the projects slowly start to come out, so there's not like a whole lot to go over right now, but very, very thankful you guys are